Back in January, would you know that a project launched just 3 months ago, and you could have bought one of their NFTs for 1 ETH, and they're now at a floor of 118 ETH. Yes, you heard that right, 118 ETH, almost where Bored Ape Yacht Club is at, just in January. Now, that is $1/3 million for one, and if you had bought three of them, that would be worth about $1 million. Well, today we're going to talk about the recipe that not only made this possible, but made it happen. Because the better we understand the patterns, the less likely we are to miss on the next big one. We're also less likely to chase projects where the recipe just isn't right. Welcome to the Crypto Rain channel. I'm your host, Jay Rain. If you like money in crypto and you're looking for a real investor's take on the crypto market, join the Rainmaker family. You can do that as simply as liking this video and subscribing with the all notification bell enabled. Special note, I'm not a financial advisor. I am a crypto investor myself. And I do own or plan to own most of what I talk about on this channel because I don't talk about crypto projects I don't believe in. My background is investing. I'm here as an investor. Been investing for 20 years prior to crypto and in the crypto space, relatively not that long, just 4.5 years. Special shout out to our Patreon members. We do have a private Discord that our Patreon members get access to. Now make it rain on that like button and strap in for the show. Let's go ahead and welcome our producer, D Money.
Yo, Jay, what's up? Do you have a good weekend, man?
Yeah, it was a great weekend.
Good.
It's a good family time, just kind of soaking in what's going on with the crypto market. Just, putting together two and two and thinking of some ideas I wanted to look at and share with the audience this week.
Yeah, I'm excited about this episode. NFTs are something that everybody knows that I'm relatively new to the space, and there's so much to know about it. And so I'm excited to hear your take on this subject.
Yeah, so I was looking at some of the top stuff, not the stuff that went from like 1 ETH to 2 or 3 ETH, but the stuff that went from maybe 1 ETH to like 100 ETH or more, or started like Bored Ape Yacht Club at 0.08 ETH and now well over 100 ETH.
Right.
So let's go through some of the stuff, and I'm just going to share with the audience some of these top projects that have done incredible numbers, and then let's look at why. Now, recently a project called Moonbirds launched, and D, I know you followed that one. We had a friend who actually got whitelisted in the whitelist raffle. I didn't. Oh, well. They quickly have risen from a floor of their launch price at 2.5 ETH, which they launched at, to 33.5 ETH, which is their floor now in just 2 weeks. So a lot in the audience might be asking, this would be a normal question, what is so special about this project to be able to launch at that price and have risen to such crazy high prices in such a short amount of time? Neo Tokyo, the floor price is 10.5 ETH. Well, what is Neo Tokyo? If you haven't followed it, we'll go into that a little bit. How did Bored Apes Yacht Club go from a new project that launched last spring to being rich enough to buy out Larva Labs, which created CryptoPunks and MeBits, and buy out those brands? Well, also the floor on their own apes going from 0.08 ETH mint to a floor price right now of 147 ETH. Now, what do these projects that have done such incredible numbers, far exceeding most every NFT project out there, what do they have in common? That is exactly what we're here to talk about today. They all have an exclusive community with something special. It is the special ingredient to this that makes all the difference. Probably you've been in the crypto space and you've possibly even bought some NFTs and their gains were lackluster compared to some of the projects you saw skyrocket. And you're thinking to yourself, why? Why did those ones do so well and the other ones didn't? And that is exactly what we're here to discuss. You've probably seen 100 NFT projects launch with exclusive access to a Discord by owning an NFT. But the question is, why have none of these projects done very well? What is the secret ingredient? It isn't that it has a private community. It's that it has a private community that those with money, huge amounts of money, want to be in. So let's look at 5 communities that have done exceptionally well so we can know what made these outperform the rest. Let's start this journey with Bored Ape Yacht Club. Then we're going to go to VeeFriends. Then we're going to go to Proof Collective, Moonbirds, and then Neo Tokyo. Now, Bored Ape Yacht Club, this was the first to really have an NFT gated community. And you can see here the floor right now, 147 ETH. Last traded at 16.4 ETH. This one last traded at 67 ETH. Those are some massive, massive gains. And you know what? These are fun NFTs, but why in the world did these go from 0.08 ETH to this kind of price? Well, they were the first to have this NFT gated community that floundered actually for its first week or two until some big NFT whales came in. And once they came in, others came in as well, and the prices skyrocketed. As it became more exclusive, the buy-in price became very high, and this attracted bigger and more money to the space. So it was really the first to have an NFT gated community, which floundered at first for a week or two until some big NFT whales came in. Once they came in, others came in as well, and the prices skyrocketed. As it became more exclusive and the buy-in price became very high, this attracted bigger and bigger money, not only for the exclusive community, but actually the status of the NFT as a profile pic in this case, kind of following the status that CryptoPunks held. And it kind of caught the tail end of that, though it really started because the exclusive community that had some really sharp top NFT expert people in it. And that's what drove the value at first. And then only secondarily as their profile pic is the values went so high. And then you had top recording artists and, you know, NFL players and other people buying these because the status behind it. Let's move on to the next one, Proof Collective. Now, Proof Collective, let me show you kind of the floor price here. So there's only 1,000 of these with a floor price of 118 ETH. Now, these launch in just January. So a little bit about Proof Collective. This is an NFT gated community. If you do look at, let me go back just real quick. I'm going to show you on OpenSea. Look, there's nothing special about the profile picture of this. That's just, they're the same. So what is it that makes this so special? It is the NFT gated community created by Kevin Rose, who has spent some time building an NFT focused community of influential people and artists. He pulled together several people from his Proof committee, which he set up, of some top level people analyzing what makes some NFT projects do better than others and discussing what was going on and what looked attractive. He then created a Dutch auction for his Proof Collective with a very limited number, just 1,000 NFTs. And he started at 5 ETH in the Dutch auction, but the truth is the price kept decreasing. It didn't sell out till it hit the price of 1 ETH. And this was back in January. In order to be part of this Discord discussion with a lot of these people and friends that he had put together, you had to hold a Proof Collective to get access to it. So this isn't the profile picture status. This is 100% the community that drove this value and the people that Kevin Rose brought together. Now, Kevin Rose has been a very successful investor, not just in crypto, but in other things prior, and had built a name and had even created an NFT channel where he discussed NFTs and values together and really brought together the right people that gave this community true value. So even though it launched just 3 months ago, you can look back in the history of many of these. If you go in and you just click on some, let me show you. I'm going to click on this, go back in the history, and you'll see, oh, okay, so those are some of the offers, but you'll see, man, this exchange hands just, 4 months ago for 2.175 ETH. I bet you that person is really, really sad right now. Can you imagine, D?
Yeah, man, it's crazy to think about how, like, yeah. I don't even like to think about that, honestly.
Here's another one, 2.29. Yeah,
they might have felt pretty good about, like, that was probably doubling their money, you know, when they sold that one, you know. So like, oh, cool, high five, you know, like, and then you walked away from 300 grand.
Can you imagine the early people that bought at 5 ETH, right? They minted at the beginning of the Dutch auction, and then they watched it go to all the way to 1 ETH, and they're like, oh my gosh, how terrible. And then they were exchanging, after it sold out for about 2.5 ETH, and then the floor just kept going up. And when people started to understand the value that community brought in the alpha exchange, and some of the top artists that were part of this, that were then launching their own projects and did well, really people started to understand the value of this. And now, I mean, the value has almost hit Bored Ape level prices in just 3 months, which should give the audience hope, because a lot of times we look at things like, oh, I've missed all the good chances out there. The truth is you haven't. There is lots of stuff, but you're looking for something special, not just a copycat of something else that's launched. You're looking for something that's very special that will do these kind of numbers. And that's what we're talking about today. Now, they did have a limited number, just 1,000 of these NFTs. And so that was a little bit special. That's a really tight community. But the Proof Collective comes with special things in addition to a top community of top minds and artists. The Alpha Exchange alone in that community has significant value, but Proof also comes with more, because it does get you whitelisted to other projects that have some value, particularly the next thing that Kevin Rose then launched, which is Moonbirds. Now, Moonbirds, we can see here, even though this just launched, was it 2 weeks ago, D?
Yeah, not even. I don't even think it was 2 weeks ago. I think it was, I want to say it was last Saturday. I think it was like 9 days ago.
Yeah. So I like to click on the buy now button. I don't want to see what, the auction price are at. I want to see what the lowest floor ask price is. Now that's interesting. The last sold at 33 ETH and now have price at 34 ETH. That's probably some bot flippers, but interesting. Some of these flipped at 17, 26. Offers. I'm looking for, last at 12.5. So we've seen a dramatic increase in the last 9 days. And probably it will level off and go down some. But this is like an extension of Proof Collective. This is a second step for Proof Collective that expands its community to some extent. There are still things that only Proof Collective members get access to, but because of Proof's total community size, it's so small at 1,000 max people. Moonbirds had 10K mints, and that allows the community access to the Moonbirds Discord, which will give them special benefits, and is really the playground for some of the ideas of Kevin Rose. One of the ideas they wanted to play around was this idea of nesting, where you can, in essence, lock up your bird to where it can't be sold during the time that it's nesting, and it locks it to the wallet while you still maintain it in your own wallet. And then it calculates the days you have held the bird, and there will be higher rewards for those who hold longer in this nesting status. Now, Moonbirds was supposed to launch in a Dutch auction, but Kevin Rose saw so many indicators that large whales and bots were literally just going to buy out all of them as soon as it launched. They decided to take the price to 2.5 ETH and then do a raffle for whitelisting to decrease the ability of one person to buy multiple and give everyone a fair chance, which makes sense. And one of our friends, I tried to whitelist. Most of the people I know tried to whitelist. We didn't get it, but one of our friends did, and he's part of the community and really enjoying some of the alpha that he learns there. Now, some of these were immediately flipping for 8 ETH and then 12 ETH, and that they've reached the floor of 33 ETH. And you're starting to see a pattern of what makes certain projects do exceptional versus the other ones. So let's talk next about VeeFriends. Now, VeeFriends, going here, we look at the floor price is 11 ETH. Pretty amazing, especially there's 10.3K of them. Looks like on average, most owners hold 2 because there's 5.2K total owners. Now, if you look at the art on this, I mean, this is some stellar art, D. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, yeah, it's pretty amazing stuff. Yeah, I think that it looks like, hold on, that was, I think my 8-year-old drew that last one. Go back.
I know, right?
That raccoon or that squirrel, yeah.
But it's still better than my art, but not by much.
But Gary V is the one who actually draws all these, right? Gary Vaynerchuk.
Yeah. Yeah, so, and he's not really an artist, but what's funny is Gary V is a very successful marketing and business guy who works extremely hard and very focused when he puts his mind to something. and he launched this NFT project. And Gary Vee was very open about his intention with this project to make this his signature brand that he would build for the rest of his life. So when he launched these a year ago, it started as a Dutch auction style at 2.5 ETH and then lowering over time to a floor of 0.5 ETH. I know, frankly, I don't love the art of VeeFriends, yet it isn't the art so much as the faith people have in Gary Vee and his commitment to this space that people are buying with VeeFriends, as well as access to this community. And so these do grant you extra things by having a V1 Gary VeeFriends, because they did just launch V2. But being part of V1 comes with some extra benefits that nobody else will have. And so it's really the faith that people believe in Gary Vee and the community that he's put together. Now, funny enough, if you go back to YouTube, you can see like interviews with Gary Vee and Kevin Rose at the same time talking about their successful VC investing prior to this, and that they've known each other. So both these guys coming in this space are very focused, very successful, past history of success. And so as they came into the space, they were able to bring massive value and attract people with money to their communities. Which brings us to the last one that we're going to talk about, and this is Neo Tokyo. Now, Neo Tokyo is interesting. This was a project launched by Alex Becker and Elio Trades, both YouTube influencers with crypto followings and business backgrounds. The Neo Tokyo NFTs were special in that you could earn them by solving puzzles and hints left by Alex Becker. Many of these then turned hands as people sold them, and project founders and whales purchased them in order to be part of that exclusive community. Now, if you look at, let me show you what this looks like. And there's a few different versions of these. These are Neo Tokyo citizens, and there's a total of 2.1K items with 2,000 owners and a floor price of 10.5 ETH. I mean, not bad, especially for those that got those by solving a problem. Yeah. So you can see several different things that they have created there, right? And some of these have other things within it, still have higher prices, like 3 ETH here. And so they've created something special here, and a big part of that special thing is the community. Now, have you seen a common thread between all these different projects? It's a community where people with money want to be a part of it. For Bored Ape Yacht Club, it started as a Discord community, being some of the original driver to that. But over time, the status of the NFT for a profile pic. For the other 4, it was straight up the utility of being part of an exclusive community with additional benefits, including the ability to discuss or even just observe discussions happening with some of the top info from some of the top people in the space. And the value people feel from belonging to this community is apparent in the value of what has happened with these NFTs and their prices. There's also value from being, often these include whitelists into releases from their own projects or some of their partner projects. And this free whitelist spot has incredible value as well. So how do you make your first million NFTs? Not really by buying these at these high prices, right? The common thread is that you're weeding through so much of the regular, the normal, the copycats, and you're looking for a project where the value of the community will drive top people with money into it, or preferably it already has top level people in it and that want to be part of it. If you think about it, anybody with Photoshop can create an NFT project or 10,000 mint NFT project these days, and that's why there's so many out there and so many not doing very well. That isn't to say that some profile pic art NFT projects can't do well and go from 0.08 ETH to 1 ETH to 2 ETH, but we're specifically talking about ones that hit at least 10 ETH, right? Some really, really big numbers. And it's because they already have or attract people with huge funds, business connections, and business experience to be part of their community. And that takes something special. And that something special will attract those people or already have those people, and is exactly what you're looking for in the ones that have a chance to make massive gains. Now, are you ready to be a rainmaker and join the Navy SEALs of crypto, which is what I call the rainmakers? and level up your crypto game. Well, why Navy SEALs of crypto? Well, Navy SEALs work extra hard to be above average and be the best. And in crypto, is it fair to say to be above the best or above the rest? It takes some extra learning and extra work over maybe a period of a couple of years. Now you're thinking, what kind of extra work? I'm already so busy. And it's true. Fair to say that if you set aside 2 hours a week to increase your depth of understanding, that within 2 years, you'll be above the top 2% in the crypto space for knowledge and understanding. So 2 hours a week, if you break that down per day, that's literally just like 20 minutes a day. And it just adds up over time. And if you use that knowledge and understanding towards 3 principles that I often talk about on this channel, your journey in crypto is going to be a great one. So join us. It's the easy as subscribing. We also have a Telegram group that you can join below for free. Remember, no rain, no gain.
Came into the space chasing all of the games, chasing the pumps and all